Isn't it funny how that as soon as everyone around my age bracket started making some money and were able to buy things that they like, the world is deciding to screw us in every way possible? Isn't it so cool that everything in the world is just getting more and more expensive? Isn't it a nice situation to be in? You want to upgrade your PC? Well, if it's anything besides the case, motherboard, or power supply, have fun. I mean, PCs were already one of the more expensive hobbies to get into, and now that a single stick of RAM is more expensive than a whole budget build in 2017, I don't think this hobby is gonna last any longer. You might say, hey, let's try getting a pre-built computer. Nope. They're out of stock because of RAM shortages, or if they're in stock, good luck affording that. Alright, so what do you do to get your gaming fix? You go towards the consoles then. Sure, you lose out on 90% of the functionality of a PC, but at least you can just plug in your games and play, right? And look, console manufacturers subsidize the cost of the consoles because they expect you to buy software alongside the console. But at some point, they're not even able to subsidize that. They tried to hold out with the prices in games increasing to $70 and maybe $80 sometimes. But what more can you do when the RAM alone is more than half of the original MSRP of these consoles? And now that's why you have a $900 PS5 Pro with $80 games. So you switch over to the handhelds, stuff like the ROG Ally, the Legion Go, oh, and the Steam Deck, right? The thing that's been out of stock for so long. People have just been clamoring and waiting for the Steam Deck to get back in stock, and it's $800. How am I supposed to buy this? What is this gonna say about the upcoming Steam machine if their handheld is $800 for the low tier model? You know what, screw it, I'll just go to work because I can't afford to buy anything anyways, might as well make more money, right? Well, how the hell do I get to work? Gas is at $6, right? And guess what? You want a more fuel efficient car? Good luck affording that, because car prices are also through the stratosphere right now. But don't you worry, while you can't afford to have enough gas to even get to work some days, some company just accidentally spent $500 million on Claude Agent tokens. Just because the CEO bought a perpetual license to Claude and accidentally turned off spending limits. So while you worry about paying rent next month, don't fret. Be happy that a small country's GDP can be used just on AI tokens. How true is this story? Who knows? It could very well be that Polymarket just made some AI make a tweet so that they could manipulate their own market. But the fact that you can even consider this to be real and that it sounds plausible is the most horrifying part about all of this. But it's cool, guys. I can talk to ChatGPT and make AI videos. Look, laugh at Donald Trump throwing Stephen Colbert into the dumpster after canceling his show. I built my latest PC in April of 2024, and I remember that my 32 gigs of RAM didn't cost more than like $120. And apparently this has turned into the single best investment of my life, even better than when I bought GameStop stocks right after the peak and lost $200. I love how almost all these problems with living in general is all leading back to just AI. Every single electronic price increase in this world can be traced back to the fact that all these multi-billion-dollar corporations are building 1,000-acre data centers and buying up computer components through like 2030. All so you can do what? Generate mass amounts of misinformation? Great! I sure hope that won't have any lasting ramifications. I mean, even just a few years ago, tech had such whimsy. I mean, remember the Facebook rebrand? The tech world really believed that we would all be locked in our VR headsets all day, exploring worlds, to the point that Mark Zuckerberg put billions on the line for his whole Meta Horizons project. And at the time, we really felt like the tech oligarchs had finally lost it. But I'd rather take that dystopia than the one we're in now. I can't afford anything. Why is a trip to McDonald's $15? Why did I spend $70 to watch The Sheep Detective yesterday? They all want us to sit at home and laugh at AI videos and to not think about anything else. The war in Iran? What's that? Here, generate tung 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 sahur. The government gearing up to invade Cuba because why the fuck not? Here, remix songs on Spotify with AI. Don't forget that all of this is powered by clean drinkable water. And for all the people that say, oh, they could just use dirty water or seawater, they literally can't, because that water would corrode the whole cooling system that runs these humongous data centers. So although this water isn't going anywhere, it's a closed system, it doesn't just disappear, it's being held hostage in these systems for the foreseeable future. Because even after the AI bubble bursts, these data centers are here to stay, because the amount of data that we make now and will continue to make in the future is incomprehensibly large. But in all of this discourse, it's really funny how we can't even appreciate the actual feats of engineering that AI itself is. It's just that it's so inefficient that it requires a few cities worth of electricity just to keep its lights on. What am I gaining from this? It's not like AI has been life-changing. Yeah, it can automate some tasks and code for you, but was that worth not being able to buy any piece of electronics without spending an arm and a leg, or chlorinating it, or putting it on a credit card? You know that meme about how gamers are the most oppressed in society? Well, it's borderline true at this point. I mean, it was supposed to be an escape to not think about all of this. But firstly, you can't afford the latest hardware to play these games on, whether that be due to inflation or just scalpers ruining the whole market. Then when you actually get the hardware and you buy the game somehow, and you go online to see discussions about it, you see some AI-powered false flag Twitter account that was made yesterday tweet out that 007 should be called 007 Woke Light. Yes, Twitter, monetize the rage bait, monetize misinformation, and let AI control whole accounts. What could go wrong? Okay, cool, yeah, hardware costs are up, it sucks, but let's say you already have a PlayStation. You're probably paying for PlayStation Plus like the good boy that you are, just to play online games, which is already the biggest scam in the world, and I still don't know how it's legal and no government entity has called them out on this. But you wake up almost every few weeks to a tweet saying, unfortunately, due to rising costs and operations, PlayStation Plus is going up in price. Why? What operational cost is hitting PlayStation Plus specifically? Is this all because Concord failed? I mean, it's not even PlayStation though. Netflix keeps going up, HBO Max keeps going up, every single streaming service keeps going up. You would think with this insane increase in data centers that storage space would become cheaper for these corporations. But it's just getting more expensive. I mean, I'm just tired, and I'm sure everyone else is tired. When's the last time that something good has happened? I mean, something good did happen. Xbox Game Pass went down in price, like by a few dollars. They increased it by 10 and dropped it by 8, so we still lose $2, but I don't know. Anyway, see ya.